because you're afraid that you will discover that you're not. Does that make sense?
That could be too. And dating is fun. You know, going out and having somebody around is great. And I've been in situations where having somebody around is better than being alone. And then you have to become friends with yourself so that you're confident enough and that you like yourself and you're solid enough with yourself to be able to be solid with somebody else. But dating is fun. You know, it's great. It's exciting. And when it's during the romance stage there, wow, you can't get anything better. What happens though is that starts to wane out. You know, you're not getting the dinners, you're not getting the romance, you're not getting the positive attention, you're not getting the affection you need. All of a sudden, they're off doing things with their friends and not paying attention to you. So again, it's back to the 5 A's. Be honest enough with yourself to say, how important are these 5 A's and how much of these 5 A's do I need? I've often been in relationships where I wasn't getting enough affection. I knew I'm a very affectionate person, so I needed that. But yet, when I brought that up to somebody, they were, so I don't need that. Well, it's going to trigger it. There's things will start creeping in that's going to let you know that it's not working. And you just have to have enough strength out there to know that when you finally finalize it with yourself of what you need, that's when you're going to find it. And that's when you're going to find a friend, not just a lover.
Yeah, and I think that one of the key things you're talking about is we try to be tolerant and friendly, but sometimes people cross the line. And what I'm encouraging some of the people I'm coaching is that to go ahead and test it often and early. And I was talking with Margaret Paul, the psychologist, about this, and she said there's a 50-50 chance that the person, conversations are really a dance. And if you get in this conversational rut where you always give in and take the low road, and all of a sudden you have a conversation and you bring up a difficult topic, there's a 50% chance that the person will go along with you and say, oh, okay, I didn't know that bothered you or whatever, or I won't do that anymore. And there's a 50% chance to just say, well, this is the way I am, take it or leave it. So I think it's worth taking that risk early on in the relationship before you cement. The longer it goes, the harder it is to leave. We all know that. So we make more excuses and more patterns about that. But I would encourage everyone, if you're just having some doubts or some difficulties, to just get in there and test it. And if like someone issues like I wouldn't say a threat. A threat is a very overt act, but some type of a subtle challenge, you hold up to them and say, well, no, I don't want to go where you said you want to go. And half the time the person will say, oh, okay, I didn't know you had strong feelings. And all of a sudden an issue that you thought was this enormous issue that you've been dodging and cowering, trying to avoid this conversation, is over in about 5 seconds. So have you experienced that where you take up your
Again,
personal power?
yes, again, it stems back to really being honest with your interest behind the problem. What is your wants, needs, desires, right? And people often don't take the time, especially in relationships and where they want this relationship to go, to really sit back and say, what is it that I want and desire from this relationship? They're scared to bring that topic up. They may, want to take the relationship further. They may want to be married. They may want to, move in together. And so what they do is they create problems or they create other things to be talking about as opposed to what is really on the plate. So before you get into relationships, and before someone talks you into being only, a casual friendship, relationship, be honest enough with yourself to say, no, I really want a long-term serious relationship, or I want to take some time to move this through to see how we're going to be. Before I start falling in love with you, let's make sure things are how I want it to be. But be honest with yourself to say, where do I see myself in 5 years with this person? And if you can ask that question to say, do I want to be living with that person? Do I want to be married to that person? Do I see this as a casual thing? But then watch for the answers. If you're looking for marriage and they're saying, oh, casual fling, you want to believe them, you know, and don't talk
Definitely, I
yourself,
would say
because
that.
then you put those little arguments out there and to create problems, because what I call it the push-pull relationship, you're putting these tests out there to push them away, but